Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with Supersize Your Business. Welcome to No Nonsense November, tip and tool of the day, number 21. Today we're talking about practicing self-discipline. My question right off the bat is always, how self-disciplined am I right now? Am I setting the example for the people that I love, as well as the people I work with, some of them I love, to behave in ways that we want to encourage in our culture and in our business and in our lives? Well, self-discipline is one of those that requires a little bit of extra effort for most of us, especially when there's a lot of things going on, when we're stressed out, when there's a lot of emotional things, when there's a lot of changes going on. We have to be more consciously aware of practicing and demonstrating. Maybe we should say demonstrate self-discipline for other people in our organization. There's a saying, the speed of the pack is determined by the speed of the leader. And that is absolutely positively true. It applies to our families as well as to our businesses. The speed of and the behavior of the people in your organization will never be, or will very seldom be. Sometimes I'm surprised by people, and in a positive way. But for the most part, you set the tone and the pace for your organization as the leader of that organization, whether it's a department, whether it's a club, whether it's your family, or a, billion-dollar business. You are the one that sets the example for everybody. So if you demonstrate self-discipline and show up, and I'm going to share my biggest secret for demonstrating self-discipline. Do what you say you are going to do. If you commit to something, you say you're going to do it, do it. And every time you open your mouth and say you're going to do something, deal with that and treat that as if it's an absolute commitment, and that no matter what, you're going to figure out how to do the thing that you say you're going to do. Otherwise, zip your lip and just don't say it, right? Don't commit to things that you're not going to. Don't overextend yourself because something is going to fall off the apple cart and you're not going to be able to meet all your commitments. Our tool today is an app called Habitica. I personally checked it out. Do not use it. To me, I love the gamification. I think if you can gamify and make something fun for people, they're more likely to do it, which is one of the key principles behind this app. Take your task manager and make it a game. Reward people for doing the things that they say they're going to do, which if you're new to holding yourself accountable and doing what you say you're going to do, because holding yourself accountable to what you say you're going to do is, in my opinion, the definition of self-discipline, right? And it encourages us to do things like start small. I think one of the things my son actually taught me, and I didn't always do it before then, but I chose to adopt the habit and make it a habit, is making my bed every morning. As soon as I get out of bed, the first thing I do once I get out of bed is make my bed. Sometimes I'll run to the bathroom first, but my bed is the first thing on my morning, got to get it done list. Why? And it's just a simple little psychological thing. We've accomplished at least one task first thing in the morning. We've started off our day winning just by simply making our bed. And guess what? It's a lot more fun to climb into a nice, beautifully made bed every morning or every evening. Well, or nighttime. It's usually nighttime, right? By the time we get back in our bed, unless you're a napper. We want to hold ourselves accountable. And we can do that through a lot of different ways. I've used a lot of different strategies on myself to test and tweak to see what works for me. Sometimes we use pain of not doing something, and we actually punish ourselves in little ways. Okay, if I don't do this by the time that I said I was going to get it done. And these are like small self discipline steps. Well, then I'm not going to take a break. I'm not going to go get that coffee I want down the street. Or I'm not going to eat those caramels. That's a biggie for me. And that's a pain or pleasure, an award and punishment thing that we can use on ourselves to get ourselves to do things. I usually track things. When I want to start a new habit, I will create some kind of a tracking system. And it's usually something super simple, like a Post-it note. I'm going to use a Post-it note, or the simplest possible solution to holding myself accountable. I think I've shared the story of my little blue notebooks, my last job in corporate America, and I still do this to this day, is if I commit to something and say I'm going to do it, I write it down, I put a little checkbox by it, and I check it off, and I look at that list at the end of the day, and how many check boxes do I have? I don't go to the next day without being able to check that box off. And again, that's a habit that I started decades ago that I still use today because it's just inherent in who I am. If I commit to something, I'm going to do it. So we can use pain or pleasure to hold ourselves accountable. And then we need to remember, and one of the things that's built into the Habitica app, which is why people love it, is accountability and community support. Sometimes we need to ask for help. Sometimes we need support holding ourselves accountable until it becomes automatic. And I think it's always a personal motivation thing, right? And a personal commitment to thing. I say often that you can fool other people, you can lie to other people, you can give excuses to other people as to why something didn't happen that you said you were going to do. But you always know deep down inside, if you did everything humanly possible to do what you say you're going to do, or if you gave yourself an out, and if you just kind of weaseled out of it and just didn't do it for whatever reason. Maybe you were watching Netflix and you didn't want to miss the next episode, so you didn't call the person that you were going to call when you said you were going to call them. Things like that. It's just simple things like that. And we, again, start small, make the bed, get up at the same time every day. I know people think that's crazy. I get up at the same time every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Maybe it helps because I'm a morning person, but I also have learned over the decades through trial and error, like everybody else has to, that the days that I don't get up at the same time and follow my morning routines, I am off for the entire day. And I don't feel good and I don't accomplish as much as I want to accomplish. So one of the easy things I learned by experimenting was if I get up at the same time every day, and that's going to be different for each and every one of us, and I go through my morning routine, the whole rest of my day clicks into place. And then things like, build in habits of the things that are critical and most important to you when it comes to achieving your personal as well as your business related goals. So love to know, how self-disciplined do you think you are right now? And again, it varies for different areas and aspects of our life. There's certain areas of my life I'm super self-disciplined and other areas I'm not. And those are the areas that I ask for help and support in. All right, that's it. Have an awesome day. Go practice self-discipline. Set the example for everyone else in your organization and see how incredible your culture becomes. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, see you tomorrow for another tip and tool for No Nonsense November.